Now that we talk about the digital nomads Vietnam, based on the experience that you have gathered from doing this, what are the biggest challenges and how do people solve them?
I think the biggest one I can see is that people think about remote work or working remotely with company means doing a quick online work that they can just earn like quick money on the go. I think that is one of the biggest one, even with freelancing, right? Freelancing has been here like for a long time, and a lot of people in Vietnam freelance. But at the same time, we have a lot of people still think about working remotely means that you would do these, for example, like transcribe kind of job that you earn little bit, and then it's still, let's say, an extra income for them on top of their actual job. The problem here is that, okay, how do we help people see that, okay, working remotely doesn't mean that it's a quick way to get money. It's a quick fix for what they are dealing with.
What are the most important skills for remote workers in general, or what are the types of skills that you find that people lack the most, maybe?
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me has always been communications because clearly when you work remotely, communication is a big thing, and it's not the same as when you work in person. Right. And it's not only about face-to-face communications, it's also how you deliver what you're trying to say in your writing, right? And not sometimes, all the time, you will be working different hours with your team. So maybe they're not going to be online when you're already offline. So, and then there's an issue. So how are you communicating that issue to them that when they're online, they can just work on the fix right away without waiting for you? So asynchronous communications, I think it's very important for people want to go working remotely. And then the second one I think is also important is that people just need to be tech savvy, right? Because operations, like at least from my end, operation when working remotely, we rely a lot on softwares and tools, right? Workflows that we can create that is going to help a remote team run, right?
Is it easier to jump into being a remote worker after the AI revolution has begun?
Yes, in a way that you now have the tool, just to do a quick, easy translation for you, right? But at the same time, there are so many things that, okay, in your mind, it's one thing, but when you put out into words, that's a different thing. And when it goes through translation, it becomes a different thing, right? So miscommunication, misunderstanding can happen there, right? I actually have this at my current place. We had this team member that he used AI just to go back and forth every single time we want to discuss an issue or something, and it didn't work out.
You don't think AI will steal the jobs from all aspiring Vietnamese remote workers in the upcoming future?
I don't think it's going to steal our job. I think it's going to make our job better. And with the thing with AI is that there's so many tasks that can be combined together, but at the same time, that means company will require more skills, right? For example, VA, virtual assistant, you no longer need a virtual assistant who can help you schedule meetings. Like nowadays, you need a virtual assistant, like company look for someone who knows social media, someone who can do automation, someone who can even do like writing or copywriting, or even like set up like AI prompt, right? So that's what I mean, right? We will have so many tasks combined, but at the same time, the requirements will be higher.
So your group, Digital Nomads Vietnam, how do you support aspiring remote workers?
Yeah, so right now what we're doing is that we are doing webinars that can help people get the knowledge, right, to tap into remote jobs, like how to find remote jobs and how to make transition into getting a remote job. Right. A lot of people don't really know what they can do with their existing skills. That's where we want to be. So how do we direct people in the right path? Because a lot of this information is online, but people often lack a research skills, right? Okay, how are we helping them to excels in their researching skills to be able to get the remote job that they are looking for. So that's where we want to come in. We also want to be a networking place for people who are already working remotely, because we think that's how people can learn from each other, right? People can just connect to each other. And a lot of people also work 2, 3 jobs. Like they have side hustle and they all work remotely. So how can we connect them together? So just create a community where they can support each other.